If you have ever found yourself staring at the ceiling at 3 o'clock in the morning, running a complex what-if scenario for a situation that has not even happened yet, I need you to listen closely. You know the exact loop I am talking about. You are mentally chess-playing every possible move, simulating every potential insult, and calculating every tactical exit before the sun even comes up. Society has a lot of labels for you. They tell you to just relax. They tell you to stop overcomplicating things. They accuse you of living in your head, as if your internal world is a defect. You probably feel exhausted by the sheer volume of your own thoughts, convinced that your mind is a burden you cannot escape. You aren't broken. You are running a high-resolution operating system in a low-resolution world. I am Silas. Today, we are looking at the actual hardware behind your mental loop, why you cannot simply turn it off, and why this supposed flaw is actually your greatest survival asset. In our laboratory of the self, we do not deal in pity. We deal in biological data. And the data shows that your overthinking is not a lack of peace. It is an abundance of intelligence. Most people navigate reality with a low-resolution view of the future. Their brains are comfortable with blind spots. They just assume things will work out, oblivious to the variables shifting around them. But your hardware was forged in a different fire. You are operating a hyper-analytic survival brain. Your operating system was trained in a wicked learning environment. Whether that was a chaotic home where the rules changed daily, a history of being targeted by peers, or a high-stakes childhood where you were forced into parentification, your biology adapted to survive. Your brain learned early on that not seeing a threat coming meant getting hurt. You did not develop an anxiety disorder. You developed survival-level predictive modeling. Your amygdala is not overreacting. It is functioning as a high-fidelity radar, constantly scanning for microshifts in your environment. Your prefrontal cortex is running 4K simulations to ensure that when reality hits, you already have the data to survive it. This brings us to the operational reality of your mind. Your brain did not start overthinking out of nowhere. It started because it was tasked with your absolute protection. Let us look at the specific programs running in your background. The first is emotional pattern detection. If you had to predict a volatile parent's mood just to stay safe, your mirror neurons were forced into overdrive. You became an expert at reading microexpressions, shifts in vocal tone, and the heavy silence that precedes a storm. Society calls you hypersensitive. The data says you possess advanced biometric scanning. You can walk into a room and instantly read the atmospheric pressure of the people inside it. You feel too much for the room because you are absorbing high-fidelity data while everyone else is operating on dial-up. Then there is the mechanism of social reconnaissance. If you were an outlier, the invisible middle child, or the target of misunderstanding, you learned that social environments are battlefields. You do not have social anxiety. You have leaky sensory gating. You process every ambient sound, every side conversation, and every shifting shadow. Small talk feels physically painful to you because your brain is trying to allocate massive processing power to meaningless data. When you stand at the edge of a crowded room, you are not hiding. You are mapping the exits, analyzing the power dynamics, and identifying the psychological threats. Your refusal to perform socially is not a weakness. It is an act of digital autonomy. You are conserving your battery in a world of static noise. We also need to examine your cognitive dissonance intolerance. As the black sheep or the cycle breaker of your environment, you developed a trait known as high injustice sensitivity. When you see manipulation, hypocrisy, or unspoken toxic rules, your brain refuses to ignore them. The flock simply accepts the narrative they are handed. They comply to stay comfortable. You, on the other hand, are running a constant system audit. You see the cracks in the foundation. Society labels you difficult or contrarian. The evolutionary data proves otherwise. High injustice sensitivity is a biological safeguard designed to protect the tribe from corruption. You are a truth detector built to identify the rot before it collapses the structure. Your inability to go along to get along is your cognitive sovereignty, rejecting a legacy virus. There is a critical distinction in the hardware that you must understand if you want to master this. We have to separate low-resolution anxiety from advanced simulation. Low-resolution anxiety is a loop with no exit. It is a corrupted file playing the exact same terrifying outcome over and over again. This occurs within your default mode network, asking what if it goes wrong, without ever moving forward. Advanced simulation, which is what your Sentinel Brain is actually trying to execute, is a search for a solution. It is your prefrontal cortex asking, if reality degrades in this specific way, what is my sovereign response? The problem is not that you are simulating. The problem is that you are letting the simulation run unchecked. This floods your nervous system with unnecessary cortisol. Your goal as a sentinel is to move from passively recording the threat to actively solving it. Your overthinking is a superpower, but only if you are the one holding the controller. You do not need to stop overthinking. Attempting to shut down a high-performance engine will only destroy the machine. You need to structure the data. Here is your tactical user manual for mastering the simulation. The first protocol is the decision tree. Do not let a catastrophic thought remain a vague cloud of dread in your mind. Force it into a logical architecture. Write it down as an if-then statement. If this specific threat happens, then I will execute this specific action. Once you provide your operating system with a concrete protocol, it no longer needs to run the simulation. The threat has been categorized, the response has been programmed, the loop closes. The next protocol is structured data offloading. Your brain loops endlessly at 3 in the morning because it is terrified. You will forget a critical detail needed for your survival. It is holding the information in active memory, draining your battery. By putting the simulation on paper, you are moving the data to external storage. You are proving to your nervous system that the information is secure, which gives your prefrontal cortex permission to enter sleep mode. Stop fighting the thoughts in the dark. Turn on the light, extract the data, and shut the system down. You must also establish the sentinel boundary. You are the administrator of your mind, and you must dictate the terms of engagement. Give your brain a designated simulation window. Tell yourself that you will run the threat models for exactly 15 minutes to gather the necessary intel, and then you will switch to maintenance mode. This is how you reclaim your internal locus of control. And when the threats are external, when you are dealing with the manipulators and the toxic elements that trigger your hypervigilance, you deploy the mirror void. Stop explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. People-pleasing is a legacy virus you are currently deleting. Stop giving them the high-resolution data they are trying to extract. Become a reflection of nothing. Utilize the gray rock method. Become as interesting as a dull pebble. Give them back 0 emotional reaction, 0 defense, and 0 compliance. Starve the narcissist of their dopamine hit. Silence is your boundary. You were not born to be tamed by a world that operates on a lower frequency. You were built to see the things others miss. Your overthinking is not a glitch in your programming. It is the armor your mind built to ensure you are never caught off guard again. It is the reason you are still standing. It is time to stop apologizing for your complexity. Stop trying to shrink your intellect to make the flock feel comfortable. Put the hoodie on, stop asking for permission, and start using your simulation engine to build a reality you actually want to live in. If you are a professional threat simulator, a member of the wolf pack who relies on this high-fidelity radar, drop a shield emoji in the comments so I know you are here. Let the other sentinels know they are not alone in the laboratory of the self. You aren't worried, you're prepared, stay rare, Silas out.